Please, please put your hands together for Dawn Lutrell.
Wow, this is great. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you to all of you for being here. And thank you to my fellow comics for being so gracious and allowing me to come at the last minute. That was great. Very generous. It's great to be doing comedy in an actual club with adults. I usually do kids' parties. It's great. They love it. It gets weird when I get to the meth jokes, but they just think I'm saying math. Miss Dawn, did you really paint your house with toothpaste one time when you were doing math? Yes, Tommy, just that one time. We'll never use math. No, you won't. You won't. You know, a lot of the subjects they teach in school nowadays are becoming obsolete. You know? I mean, they should teach useful things like parallel parking. That would have came in handy about an hour ago. You know, instead of subjects like geology. I mean, who doesn't know where the states are? Or algebra. I mean, the only time I use algebra is when I look at my ex and wonder why. So, we got a coffee house next door. That's great. I drink coffee. I used to drink alcohol, but I quit. Thank you. Thank you for the support, two people. I just celebrated 6 years sober. Thank you. You know, I think the thing that finally convinced me to quit, to finally get sober, was I had a great opportunity to attend a women's retreat. It was 48 hours, and it really left an impression on me. It's called jail. But the good news is I finally got my eyebrows threaded, and I learned how to make lipstick out of coffee and M&Ms. I went to rehab. I figure if I'm ever famous, I've just gotten that out of the way first. And I paid $18,000 to learn what apparently everyone else already knew. Don't go to work drunk. That was helpful, but I'm grateful to be on the other side. You know, I can find the humor in it now, and I think it's great that we can find humor in our experiences and use that to help other people. And that's just kind of what I've set out to do in comedy. If you're confused, there's some brochures on the back table. But you know, I'm very out about being in recovery, and I'm very out about being sober. I don't want anyone to know that I'm gay. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm gay. I mean, I know you can't tell by looking at me. And when I say gay, I don't mean bouncy. Just for clarification. I'm originally from the Midwest, and I'm the youngest of 4 girls in my family. And I knew right away that I was different than my sisters. I didn't exactly know how, but I knew that I was different. Eventually, I figured it out, and I have to say my parents did not have a clue. But there was an attempt by me early on to try to tell them, to let them know. And I figured having 3 older sisters provided a perfect opportunity to try it out on one of them first to see how it might be taken. So I did. I told my mom I thought my sister Pam was gay. So I'm from Oregon. I'm just here visiting. This is my first time in Southern California, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I can see why y'all like it, but I'm still confused why you're all still coming down to Oregon. But anyway, I like the people who laugh at that joke. Shortly before I came out here, my wife and I celebrated 23 years together. don't applaud. I owe her money. She's been very supportive of me doing comedy. I've pursued a few different career paths in our time together. Last year, I started my own business. I love to do yard work, so I started my own lawn care company. But I didn't want to do business accounts. I just wanted to do residential lawn care. So I called it Home Mo. And for marketing, after every job, I'd put a sign in the client's yard that says, Home Mo, full service, reasonable rates. Every time I went back to the client's house, the sign was gone and no one would answer the door. So I hope comedy goes a little bit better for me. I recently started going back to the gym. I put on a little bit of weight over the holidays 8 years ago. And you know, I was really going consistently, and I thought, wow, these workouts must really be making a difference. You know, I noticed a few women following me around the grocery store. It turns out they work there. They thought I was shoplifting. You know, I gave up marijuana. I don't smoke marijuana anymore. I don't know what they're putting in that stuff these days, but I had to quit. I was having hallucinations. True story, I actually thought Ellen DeGeneres was living in my bathroom mirror. I couldn't figure out how she got from there to the TV in the living room. It was like, so I gave it up. You know, I don't know, a lot of people say I look like her, I remind them of her. I get it everywhere I go, the grocery store, the gym, the dentist, the gynecologist. That's probably the most awkward, but I can't talk about it because of HIPAA. You know, I just don't see it. I mean, if they said, you know, if they said Angelina Jolie, a little bit. You know, if I wear black. But I have a friend that gets it all the time. You look exactly like Dustin Hoffman. And she does not like it. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, have you ever met Ellen? I mean, no, technically, we've never met face to face. We've only corresponded through letters and email, and those were sent by her attorney, but it's the same thing. They'll ask me, does anybody else in your family look like a celebrity? I mean, no, technically it doesn't run in our family, but I will say my sister's a dead ringer for Charlie Manson when she first wakes up. You know, as much as Ellen and I have in common, and I admit it's a weird phenomenon, we've lived a parallel existence unintentionally, and it's just a strange phenomenon. There's so many similarities, but there are some differences. You know, Ellen is rich and famous and deals with the usual struggles that go along with being a celebrity, like lack of privacy. I don't. I can honestly say I've never ever had a paparazzi in my bush. Anyway. Thanks, you guys. You guys have been great. Thank you.